Well, hello, Commerce Tiger teachers. We're back again for week number 2 for our CISD Pride Challenges. I am Dr. Trimmel here with Heather Kilgore and Carrie Sturch. Let's take a look at what our Pride Challenge is for this week. Your challenge this week is to demonstrate when students make mistakes, how do you put them back on track? Let's hear from our friend Heather.
Okay, guys, this week we are going to be looking at Lead Forward's instructional strategies resources. I have attached them to this email for you. There's a whole folder of different strategies at your disposal. So all you have to do is look in here and find a resource that you can use. But first, let's look at some of our strategies that you might be able to use. The first one we're going to look at is the 3-2-1 test review. In this strategy, each student will take a copy of this page, and they will be going over the test on their own. So in this challenge, it's really student-centered in many ways because the student will look at the test and they will pick 3 difficult questions that they got right. So it's kind of like a pat on the back for the students. Okay, so then they're going to turn to a friend and explain why they got these right. And then in the next spaces, they are going to pick 2 questions that they got wrong, but they thought they got right. So they are going to correct their mistakes with a friend. And this might be a good chance for you as the teacher to give a little bit of extra credit or what would you call it, Carrie?
Partial points
back to the student for being able to explain their reasoning and get some more points back. And then in the last box, the students are going to give the teacher a question that they want to go over in class. So it's something that they can't quite figure out on their own, and they need a little bit of teacher help on this one. And then you, as the teacher, can go through the stack of papers and decide which 2 or 3 questions you might want to cover in class. Okay, so that was the 3-2-1 test. Now, remember, you have to tweet your evidence that you are doing this in your classroom. You can choose this resource, but you can also choose another one. But don't forget to put the CISD Pride hashtag with the 1. Now let's look at another strategy here. We're going to be looking at the learning from my mistake strategy. Now in this strategy, you don't necessarily have to have multiple copies of this. Each student can have 1 copy and keep with them throughout the school year. But this is a flow chart where the students can take an assessment and they can go through each question and decide, did I guess on the answer to this, or did I know the evidence or know it from what I learned in class? So if they guessed, they would click yes or go over to the yes box and just work through the flow chart. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So this is another resource that your students can use, and don't forget to tweet it out if you decide to use this strategy. And don't forget that when you tweet out and use the hashtag and provide all of the evidence, you are working towards pieces of flair. Your tweets must be posted by 6 p.m. on Saturday evenings, and then we will award the flare on Mondays. And also, just because if you did not happen to join us last week for our self-check, you can join us this week for avoiding pitfalls. It is not too late to join. But this week we have something extra. We have a level up challenge, and Carrie's going to tell us all about this.
Prizes!
It is an extra chance to earn another prize. So this week you have the opportunity to tweet your answer to the avoiding pitfalls tweet, but you can level up and earn a chance for an entry into a $100 Amazon gift card. Now your level up tweet is going to be a separate tweet from the avoiding pitfalls. So when you're tweeting out your answer for the level up, you need to make sure to include the words level up in that tweet. So let's talk about our question for the challenge. What tools do you use to help anticipate student mistakes and avoid common learning pitfalls? So again, we have some resources from Lead Forward. One of the resources we're going to look here from the email is always, sometimes, never. This is a great activity to do at the beginning of an instructional unit. The teacher would create some circles, some shapes on the paper, and inside there would write some statements that are either sometimes true, always true, or never true, and then provide the students a color code. That activity could be done by the children. They'd go through the different statements. They would color the different statements according to the code, and that's a great pre-assessment to kind of see where your students are at, where you need to spend more time, and what you can kind of gloss over. So remember, if you choose to create one of these images from the template in Lead Forward, make sure to tweet this out and put Level Up in this in that tweet, so I know that it's going to be going for the $100 Amazon gift card. But I did want to make sure that you took some time to get back into the TEKS resource system. There are some fantastic resources that are organized by SE that can help you avoid some pitfalls for your students. For instance, here we're looking at a 7th grade STAR resource, some expository STAR analysis. Now again, call me or email me and I'll help you find where these resources are. But when you click on this, the first thing that will open will be a copy of the STAR passage. But the actual meat of what you want to look at is on the next page. So you have the question and you have the state analysis data. So if you look here, the majority of the state got this question correct. The incorrect answers were very small percentages. So probably don't need to do a whole lot of changes to our instructional strategies for this SE. But if we look at another one, take a look at this one. This one had the state answering at about 51% correct. But please notice choices A and B had 22 and 23% of our children choosing the incorrect answer. Looking just a little further down the page, you can see a description of the distractors and the rationale for the student error. When you're planning for those high yield SEs, you can sit down and determine what caused students across the state to choose the incorrect answer, and that might help you modify your instruction before you ever begin. That's the purpose of our Level Up questions. What can we do to anticipate student misunderstanding?
All right. Thank you, Carrie, for explaining that. And I'm very excited about not only the 2 pieces of flair that you could have earned right now, but also that you can earn an opportunity for an Amazon gift card with our Level Up Challenge. That's exciting. Let's take a look at our leaderboard. CES, AC William, and CMS had 8 tweets last week for challenge number 1. And way to go, CHS is pulling in the lead with 9 tweets out for challenge
CHS.
number 1.
Now there's still time to get those tweets in, so are we really going to let Drummond win? Let's keep tweeting.
Game
Game on! Get going.